start.
Okay, very good morning to Ms. Manmeet and my friends. So I'm Hema here, and here are my teammates Raj, Shavya, and Nosh. And as a HR consultant, we are going to present on Fastcom Technology Group in India. And the next slide will be the introduction. So here we have an analysis between India and China. So we have included 4 components here. The components will be discussed later in the slides. And we have culture differences here. So we have used Hofstad dimension to compare China and India. So basically, we know China and India is a cultural country where they respect their religion and also culture. So the first dimension will be the power distance, and also when we see in the both country have higher power distance where they have same management style. And also, for China, they have strict hierarchies and male domination, where males are more hired in China, and also same goes to India. And they respect their seniority management, where employees need to accept the inequalities given to them. It means manager cannot reject whatever the employees cannot reject whatever the manager told. Same goes to India, but in India, what's the difference? Because the caste system, higher caste people will be getting the higher management positions, and lower caste will be getting the lower management positions. And also for the individualism, they are highly collectivist culture. They often say we, they wouldn't say I. We means it's a group. They prefer to be in the group. And also Confucianism, Taoism, and morality is basically their culture teachings. They have to follow that. It's meaning that they interact one another and they respect one another, and also they believe that it brings humanity and also harmony to the culture. And also, equal benefits are given to all employees in terms of wages and salaries. It means employers should give the employees equal wages to everyone, not to one group low wages, another group high wages. Everyone deserves to get equal wages. And when we see the individualism in India, it's in the middle. We cannot predict whether it's collectivism or individualism. The younger people prefer to be individual, and the older people prefer to be in group. And also, the younger people, they prefer to be well maintained, and also they prefer to be isolated. But the older people here, they respect the culture more, and they prefer to be the like Chinese people with collectivism. And when we see the long-term orientation here, steadiness and respect is something important for the Chinese. They believe that by having this attitude in them, it will bring them it will make them to achieve in long term, and also they are goal oriented more than short term, and achieving short term goals. And also having once is actually a tradition followed by the Chinese people. They are it means helping one and another. And also, if anybody don't follow this tradition, they have to lose their face and reputation, which will bring embarrassment to the society. When we see in India, they prefer to be short-term goals where because due to the political things, and also China, they merge their religious teachings in their business decision making, and also their lack of punctuality. They often being late, and they highly believe in karma, which will be deciding their fate by predicting their current one. Next slide, I'll pass to my teammate.
Okay, I'm talking about job requirements, recruiting and selection method and process in India. Looking for accountability for engineering candidates will be examined through interview and examining process. Candidates should take a proactive approach in robotics, architecture and design. Candidates should able to identify, evaluate and solve technical risk within projects, and also most importantly responsible in maintaining the security and integrity of the platform and providing day-by-day support and training to achieve good results. In the part of skills, the required skills for engineering candidates is bachelor in electronic and robotic engineering, which is minimum 2 or 3 years. RPA developer, which is a robotic process automation, or ideally using UiPath, which is global software company that develops a platform for robotic process automation. Also in-depth experience with VB or VC++ or J2EE. Furthermore, candidates must be strong problem solver, data and software application skills. Lastly, must be proficiency in process design and software develop lifecycle. Next, we talk about stages of methods and process. The first method is graduate recruitment agency recruitment. This is where we'll look into the career opportunity and application in the first stage. The second method is primary interviews, is where they call in initial get to know or basic interview of the candidates. The third method is employment test, where accountability and skills candidates are extensively tested. And the last stage is selection process, includes physical test, final selection and placement process for the candidates. Okay, the next we'll be looking for the differences of recruitment and selection between India and China. So in India, recruitment and selection process and responses for India candidates are slow, whereby compared in China, there is more smooth and quick response from the candidates. So the candidates might have better option and no need to waste time. The next is management of talents for new candidates is done more exclusively in India. However, look into China, and the management of the talents is more or less than average level. So this will be make India to choose the best candidates for the approach respective job. Moreover, in India, mostly men are recruited in different positions where this is a total opposite, where in China, mostly women are recruited in different posts. Therefore, there are shortages of female employee in India, but but there's a balanced number of both male and female employee in China. And we're looking for there's similarities of recruitment and selection for India and China. So both are similar in interviewing process, such as initial planning, searching, and screening process. This is more of the first and the second stage. And and then the next, the process of analyzing candidates' academic results, where both are done similarly, and selecting of candidates through CV also done, because some countries might use different way to select candidates, but these both countries are using CV. And the last will be the assessment made on the practical skills of the candidates, along with psychometric assessment. Most countries don't apply, but these two countries are similar on doing the same process, so they might select best candidates in both countries. Next, I'll pass to Chawya to talk about the differences of employee-industrial relation between India and China.
Presenting the differences between employee relation between India and China. The constitutions of India provides for freedoms to association. There are more than one trade unions. The Indian National Unions Congress is the largest central trade unions in India. Unions members in India are from manufacturer, transport, storage, constructions, and so on. However, there is no freedoms of associations for China. They only have one legally mandated unions, that is the All China Federations of Trade Unions, with estimate 300 million and 1 million full-time official. is the largest national trade unions in the world. They mainly controlled and directed by Chinese Communist Party. Workers are not the unions but enterprise. In India, there is no provisions on strict ballots. Unions leaders can make decisions on strike without consulting their members. Besides that, the procedure for removing a leader depends on political and group dominance. In China, unions have power to engage in collective bargaining. Any attempts to establish an independent trade unions movement is seen by party as political threat. Chinese workers are not guaranteed the right to strike. Workers will be arrested after taking in organization strike, and the common forms of retributions is workers will be fired by management. The financial situations of China unions is generally weak. Primary source of income of India trade unions is the membership subscriptions. Other than that are donations, sales, periodicals, and etc. For China, trade unions rely on the income provided by enterprise unionized company is required to pay 2% of its total salary as a union tax. The next I will pass to Nosh.
Thanks. Okay, so coming to the laws in India, considering India is becoming one of the biggest and largest economies in the world, they have passed various laws which actually help international businesses to come into India in a very easy process. This has also helped them, international businesses like Foxconn, to actually invest in India and expand in India without going through a huge process, which will cost a lot of time for them. Secondly, they have passed a law in which they have they have allowed like full-time foreign nationals to be directors of the company as long as one Indian national is a director of the same company. And then, even though like India has a lot of minimum wage laws, they actually tend to not follow. Many businesses tend to not follow them because of various reasons, and this has been a big issue between inside the country, because many companies face local and government persecution because of this, because minimum wage laws are not followed, even though it clearly states that they should be followed. Plus, having 16,000 plus trade unions in India, it kind of makes employers and employee relations kind of like hard, because most employees are under the trade union and they tend to follow the trade union laws more than the company's own uh, way of life. Secondly, when it comes to practices in India, India has a high corruption rate, which kind of takes away the right of many companies to have a lawful and secure business, as they have to pay extra money, which kind of is not a cost saving and actually makes them pay more than they should have. But India has a huge economy and they have a huge labor, which actually makes their labor very cheap. Having cheap labor does save cost for companies, and this is why one of the big reasons that many countries and many businesses are planning on expanding inside India. However, even though India has benefits, they are extremely religious. And when a country is very religious, you tend to have to be very careful around their company, around their customers, because even the slightest issue will make them against you and will actually hurt your business and you as well. And another big issue they have is that many Indian companies or international companies have an over dependence of local management and labor. When you have a local over independence of local management and labor, many employees tend to not care about the international employees, and which kind of makes a set of a difference in between them, and the harmony in working is kind of reduced. Moving on, when local products are uh, yeah And then secondly, since India is very religious, they are very patriotic as well. And considering the recent issues between China and India and their border conflicts, I feel that it will be hard for Chinese companies to come into India due to this issue, as many companies will not have to, and many employees will not work for those companies because of this growing issue. Moreover, Moreover, local products are preferred by customers. Being patriotic means that local customers prefer local products, and international products are not that widely accepted as well as are frowned upon. Lastly, when it comes to India, their business language is English. And when you have an English language country, when the business in English, it's easier for countries to come in and do business as the mode of translation and mode of communication is the same. And this even provides a better opportunity for Foxconn to actually convey their message easily to their employees and other customers, as this will help them perform better and in the market and as well as inside their own company. Coming to the recommendations for laws and practices, Foxconn should study the culture of India and actually teach their employees better on how to respond to certain things. For example, when it comes to the patriotism and religious activities in India, and work around it rather than work against it. Secondly, they should hire local staff more rather than international staff, as this will increase harmony between the company and the customers, as well as between the employees and the employers. Moreover, they should be aware of the government policies and stay on top of corrupt and malicious practices, as this will save them costs and moreover help them achieve greater profits rather than paying extra money to the competitors. And in the end, they should take advantage of the favorable laws and cheap labor and focus on minimum wages, as this will increase their profits as well as reduce their costs. And moreover, it will help them achieve a greater strength inside the country. Now I'll pass it back to Nima for her recommendation.
And for the second recommendation, we recommend pre-departure and cross-culture training to make sure the Chinese are aware of the Indian background, and also they make sure they learn about the host culture, host country culture, and also to avoid the conflicts. Basically, English is a business language for the Indian people, so it won't be much conflicts for the Chinese and Indian people. Next, I will pass to my teammate.
To start up a new company, they need a number of employees to hire, which is 60 roles to be open for application, which is 20 engineers and 20 for production and design and operation department, 5 HR administration, and 5 sales of department, and 10 talented acquisition partners. Next, Nosh to continue the conclusion.
Yeah. So now coming to the conclusion, we as a team came up with that in terms of culture, requirement, and selection and employment, there's not a lot of difference between China and India, which will help when it comes to a merger or it comes to like expanding into another country. Secondly, if Foxconn plans on investing in India, they really need to look at India's background and circumstances and should be aware of everything in order to have a peaceful and, and a successful business acquisition. Moreover, India's laws and political economy are ever changing, and with increasing conflicts and increasing threats, Foxconn should be aware of everything that is happening around and should make a decision according to the country's current standing. Lastly, with English language being an aspect, it helps the country and Foxconn to actually achieve what they want, and this will actually help both the countries find a better conclusion being beneficial for each other. That's pretty much it for our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Group 5. Any questions, class? Any questions on the floor? Okay, I think there are no questions from the floor, but I have some questions to ask to clear my doubts. So you all are recommending for locals to be hired, is that right? For the management positions that you have specified?
Local
Okay.
and international both.
Local and international both. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it easy in India to get work permits for foreigners?
India has a law in which they have allowed foreign nationals to come in and even become directors as long as one Indian national is a director of the company.
Okay, how about other positions like managerial position? Is it easy to hire people because unemployment is quite high? Yeah, amongst the local. So that's why I'm asking: is it easy to hire other than directors or company ownership? Is it easy to hire other positions? Okay, in terms of hiring foreigners for other positions.
As I mentioned before, India has made business coming into India easier, which allows employees as well as companies to come in and work with minimum requirements as well as minimum processes, which help them with this.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Group 5. Well done.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Miss.
Thanks. Thank you for your attempt. Very good. Thank you.